those of you who wanted to come and have your say or to come and join me to discuss the matter at stake, kindly forgive us or forgive me and please stay with us. Tell everybody, people who left, let them know that Mansa Musa is back. Is back on the show. I think the Facebook is all right. Facebook is still live, so we can be there. YouTube is what is giving us a bit of headache. But like I said, so far as you can hear my voice on air and you can hear music and everything else, at least on the radio and Facebook, it means we are good to go. So tell a friend to tell all friends and everybody that Mansa Musa is back on air. And those people who wanted to call to listen in, please kindly do. NFM Radio or see Emudaho. Sometimes technical problems Emma Emuno and Dahoye, but it's Emudaho. Right, so we were talking about the reason, or I personally was discussing why the IMF is being so difficult on Ghana and on Ghana government and its people. Why is it that Ghanaians have done everything in their small way, in their big way? Some have lost their monies big time, pensions and savings and the rest of them. Others are being taxed to the hilt. They are being taxed of everything they have. And yet, you, the IMF people, you say you don't want to play ball. This is not fair. It's not fair at all. Just how much more should we do as Ghanaians, as a nation, for us to be accepted by the International Monetary Fund? Ladies and gentlemen, Sakasawi, enye adie dafomo. Enya asemo edidi agro. Ekufuado sorry a enabri otumi fa play biom na okwa America se okoma lectures sa sika no oje a eno ewoni botom o yusu Ghana presidency no e de aye ni lectures so hu na Ghana for ebre. Then we had the situation, the problem say the many people around the globe or in the world do not see Ken Ofori-Atta as the person to lead negotiation or to represent Ghana to discuss economy or finances. And so the question is, why is it that Akufo-Addo don't want to change Ken Ofori-Atta? Why, oh, why? Mentiase, otiase. Who are otiase no? Brana beka chire me na mentie. Okay, where are we? Okay. So why is it that, like I say, the IMF don't want to play ball with Ghana to help us to, refresh, recalibrate our economy? Adentia. Well, we friend now want to me line I quiet, I was just going to pick up and let you speak, but you dropped your phone. I think it was Yusuf, Mr. Yusuf, Bra Yusuf. If you want to talk, I am ready. Uncle Kitiosin, good evening, Bibi Aboko. Anyway, so we have some few minutes to discuss this point before I go for tonight. Tonight we've had little challenges here and there about our machines. These things happen. Even it happens to the bigger players, the big boys in the game. Technical stuff can go down unexpected, and so to speak, and more so when you have a system that the presenter, I have to try to manage everything properly and carefully. Sometimes maybe my fault, or sometimes the fault of the machines. Things fall apart, and I have to call in the engineer from far away, and you use the magic of technology to sort things out. That magic of technology now, Ghana for year and no say di kumunipa. What video be and say audio be a rababi de echo around now, or say am I the only one thinking that we have these spirits which can only kill, it can only destroy, it cannot make our hospitals work better. It cannot make us, more brainy to be able to invent things and, change our way of life for the better. But our spirits and our powers, they are only able to kill. Yes, I'm now back. So if you want to join me to say what is on your mind, I am ready to get it on with you. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, thank you very much. If I can get this lady here. Okay. There's a lady I'm looking for to come and speak. In fact, okay, let's see if we can get this lady. She promised that she'll be she'll be available tonight. Now I'm searching her phone. I can't get her, but the question still lingers. I'm still asking, why is it taking so long for the IMF to help Ghana to not to achieve independence? Because as for the independence, we got it. We got independence by the Osajifo long ago, but we threw it away. As we speak, Nanado or signed the Akoshenko Asumsa or signed the colonial system anymore. Because look, Akufo-Addo has messed up the economy so much, and he's that the pride. He's not humble. He hasn't got that the modesty and crofo. If anything happened, they will speak true to Ghanaians. No, he hasn't got that. He wants to eat his cake and have it. So he wants to go and borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow and make things, to patch up the work, patch up things so that in future somebody else will come and pay. That time he is gone. Akufo-Addo is not somebody we have to rely upon or rely on at all. He and his cousin Ken Ofori-Atta, they are doing more damage to Ghana. More damage. Look, the other time someone said that now that most of the payment, the loan repayment have been suspended, the government should have enough money to do this and that and that. And I'm thinking, yes, it's true. The loan repayment suspended, echirema ene bebetua. In the countries that sometimes, okay, if we are indebted, maybe Russia for, they have written off apparently about $20 billion owed to Russia by poor African states. Ghana for can be because they say America for na grow. America for, so I'm telling you, look, any country, if you can tell me one country, one third world country that got, under the tables with America, one country that was submissive and, submitted their sovereignty to America, which now that, if you can tell me that country, is doing very, very, very well. If you can tell me that country, I'll be very happy indeed. But I know you can't tell me because that country does not exist. No, they don't. When you push America for, you will always be the small one, small boy. They will always control your movement, everything. As we speak, the American soldiers can come to Ghana and do whatever in the name of security. Meanwhile, they have, capitalized, or they are now, they control our assets, everything. I had a video clip. I don't know if I can find it somewhere. If I can find it, I'll play it. It was a lady who was, a young woman during Nkrumah's time, and she became someone who kept Nkrumah's profile, Nkrumah's books, and the rest of him. And she had just, spoken and said that because Nkrumah, Nkrumah said so many things, but what made the Westerners worry more was when Nkrumah wrote that book about the proper emancipation of Africa. When he called on Africans to unite, that woman said that one spooked. It frightened the West. The corporations, the companies, they knew that if Africans got united seriously and could manage their own resources according to how they wanted, then the West will suffer. They had to overthrow. Come on, let's listen to a little bit of that.
And Neocolonialism, two of his major works. Well, Africa Must Unite, I mean, the title says it all, and that message is still valid today. But neocolonialism was in part responsible for the coup because it exposed, the workings of international finance capital in Africa, actually gave charts showing the network of these big foreign companies that were exploiting Africa's resources. And that was probably the final straw in deciding this dangerous man has got to be removed, We cannot have Africa united or in control of its own resources. And so that was a factor because it had such an impact in America. The American government immediately stopped aid to Ghana when that book was published, yes, and lodged a very strong diplomatic complaint, through their embassy in Accra, complaining about the book. I don't know any other book, really, that has created such a political stir as that one.
Challenge of the Congo?
Well, that wasn't perceived as such a great threat. You see, it was concentrated on the Congo. It did expose Union Miniere, and how the Belgian company had exploited the Congo's wealth. But this book was really dynamite. And but it was the final straw in a big build-up that had been going on for some time against his policies, and especially his Pan-Africanism, which was perceived as a great threat. I think it is still perceived as a threat, because once Africa is united, it'll be in control of its own resources, and that's the last thing, really, that these economic interests want.
Right, that is it. So once Africa is united, they will be in control of their own resources, and that is what the world powers, the Western powers, fear most. They fear. Nkrumah published a book, two books, which actually caught the awareness of the West. One was neo-colonialism by Nkrumah, and the other one was Africa Must Unite. You see? So anybody who sits somewhere to say, Nkrumah sika betu yeno, and say, and afe na which raba. Those people say na which raba. What were you? Are you measuring Nkrumah's time? What were you measuring with? Oh, Pachre say, Sata muna brofo no honwa. Yenkrofo echo strike, echo demonstrations. Say nyoma boy de omo mpedi echo so. Say nkrofo kofa nyoma fi abrochire ba abrofo no Syrian fo no beton omo nyoma. Ghana for no bi nton and I say Ghana for no omo de emu ntimi kofa bi fi abrochire. They had to buy from only the importers. Any economy basa no a Nkrumah be hihye na OCC adan, OCC schools, OCC factories, OCC nyoma bebre no nkrofo tumi de omo anu fit tan etumi ka se Nkrumah be say economy no mabobbo mo adam bebre. You're listening to Mansa Musa. Program is Fire Benio. Tonight has been a mixed bag of issues, everything included. We had a technical issue for almost an hour, or let's say about 30 minutes or so. Some slight issues which disrupted the program a bit. But now we are back. So tell everybody that Mansa Musa is back. And one or two of you who wanted to phone in, but still are no kind of when you make a sabra. Domiabra. Okay, say Domiabra. Sab Chobano, I'm saying Krobia Buoso. Domiabra. I'm going to say Lomnava. So me say Argentina IMF no the IMF negotiation adenaye winsin sa adenaye winsin na IMF won pese omuni ebedi agro ni ye mentias yo because Ghana for the omo ye de ombe ye bia sika kakra mo ha ban na je savings aban na fa pensions aban na je bisi basa. Ono akufo no se na dafo for ni America for ni French for ni British for any German so mu nyina so mu boa kero for ata ko China said 3 or 4 times and what they see in kind Bible ho ukwa efficiency figures no you work it out mathematically odegbami no be say John 3:24 the world shall give it and they give it to sow the corn, and the God will bless the Muhammad. Papa. Why are you not talking about election? What election are you talking about? I'm not doing any election. What election? Be specific. The proper person. I said, do you know Kenofrata is going to China again? Hey, again? Now, China for so more kakre. Musica kakra 1 billion dear I go for dear idea and nontin am between asusa. Oh, Monamana Musimusika, and I tea baby, and a year dream, and now who a good father now was in whoever, and a 1 man 1 billion. No idea. And I'm after what they between Ghana for you now. So, yeah. Make you left him, make you left him. Chinese people, make you left him. If you bring your money, go for the chop him, so what? You they make Ghanaians make we suffer. Why? You are listening to Mansa Musa. The program is called Fire Ubeni. Let me play one or two of the political messages. Then we'll come back. We'll come back and continue to the last embers of the show.
Wana mutane NDC da ke United Kingdom da Ireland chapter ina roƙon ku har wa yau ku vote ku ba chairman Akwa. Shi kada ne wanda in Allah ya yarda ya win ya zama chairman zai kawo welfare program da zai taimaka muku ya taimaka ma party mu. Daga cikin wannan welfare program dukkan member da ke neman taimako lokacin da ya shiga cikin masuwa abin da ya kama daga 50 pounds zuwa 400 pounds welfare program na ya tabbatar a baka a taimaka maka in Allah ya maka dalili ka biya wannan kudi. Bayan haka kuma dukkan memba da ke neman wani taimako sha'anin batun takardun shi ko wurin zama ya ajiye manya da lauyoyi da kowane lokaci kake neman advice ko kake neman wani lawyer da zai taimaka maka akan batun sha'anin zaman ka a kasar United Kingdom shi kuma su bi bayan ka su taimaka maka su saya maka ka biya wani abu kadan da yake in ka je waje zaka doki lawyer ba da ka same shi haka nan ba. Muna rokonka member NDC da ke United Kingdom ko Ireland in lokacin vote ya kai ka vote ka ba Chairman Akwa shi kare ne wanda yake zai taimaka ma fatin mu a lokacin da muke ciki. Wannan shine sanarwa ko wannan shine abin da muke roko ku taimaka mishi Allah kuma ya taimaka mu duka gaba daya Allah ba mu nasara. Mun gode muku da kuka saurare mu. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
National Democratic Congress NDC no nyam former ni member mo UK ni Ireland chapter no ya yedie then as say be to aba chapter chairman fofo ya said the chinene mum no koto on swear nyam for Dr. Joe Ajimai the restoration man the father say the party ni wenim kai odi amonya sema kutile yi e we to the west wa former suru nkoso oni mu adwumade de e fa ne hotitiru na esini nan so e madye bebre no de egu akwemu a obeye de amaye bini se o sigina ye esiko no dwumade bia be kire party office na odisika £3 empemenum na ato ase e 5,000 pounds o santre magwo ne mama honsu £1,000 na ebe show mu dwumade mu kina na esigina ye Don swa, which is a for Omobetro Mudi, Abeka party in Hoodie. Omombra Crow, Omosabeka Omudika, and 10 times so. Na Achi Adom Abekaya home. And you Bosumi and Sebianso. Party Mumpenum Fua, only the radio show Munsebiano, about 2 saffron Matinase. Na dia show Munsa, Omo Bumapunta, Marco. When the Brenano Bayama, Unia, Sapatra was over Mountuma, Sunny Dr. Joe Ajimai, the restoration man, Chapter Chairman Anna, Yantumano. For say dear, yenam top connect so a manisika jibagana if we are for nanny na yenchia capre. Anne, are you free Top Connect amasika mani ayem rekra. Ye uhia ne se wo be download with Top Connect app no e Play Store. Diama wo Android phone. And as we use iPhone so ko Apple Store na download the Top Connect. Eye simple kra. Top Connect wa mind radio num so wo Europe, North America and Asia. Wo mane wo dofu sika fa Top Connect so a eye ntem na emre. Ne ma wa hoto so sese die sika mani di foforo kra any Top Connect. So we yan chechemu bia for Top Connect our plus 442 081 6155 and a plus 442 081 761 600 plus 447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe Top Connect our Belfontin tefidie nyina so Top Connect Fesika mani wa dofo asumjemu a untia kapre Top Connect yensu ye dienie.
Right, we have about 7 minutes and we'll call it quit for tonight. Sorry about the fact that we had, technical interruptions. We had problems with our system. My very clever, intelligent manager and the producer, Uncle Ben, sorted everything out remotely. So we are back and active. We are cooking on gas, as we say in East London. I've got a friend called Yusuf on the line to discuss with me my problem. My question is that why? After all this sacrifice by Ghanaians, all these heavy taxes, including what we have even forgotten, the one we call, hang on a second, the one we call the e-levy, it has all come to pass. Ghanaians, those who have savings and pensions and all that, they bought the bonds and the rest of them, things, people who thought they have saved or they have their money in government equity. Now we don't know if it's still equity anymore. We've done all this. Then the government say, Kufuor, who want us to go and join the colonial sector again, he's got friends in America, in France, in Britain, in Germany. Kufuor want to join the French Legion, including the Paris Club. Kenofurata has been to China and back 4 or 5 times. And it's on and on and on. And yes, still the IMF don't want to play ball. Is this something there that they are not telling Ghanaians? Something that's serious? That the reason why the IMF don't want to know? What is it? What is making the IMF, that is draw their feet or be jittery about helping Ghana out? I don't know. Anyway, maybe Yusuf has got some reasons or, some explanation. Yusuf, good evening. Hello, Yusuf. Good evening.
NFM Radio.
Emudaho.
Mansa Musa, I saw the content you posted, and it's very, very interesting. You can make several programs on this because this is very crucial to do with the economy. And then NPP's failure to actually, solve Ghana's problem. All I can say is that, you see, during my political science studies, I came across a very, very important, I would say, things that changed my perspective on economy and economics. Because, you see, during the time of colonialism, our colonial masters, after the abolition of slavery and all that colonialism, they went back to sit down and they drew a plan. You see, that plan brought the birth of IMF and the so-called globalization and privatization and these liberal democracy that they've introduced to Africans. That was all to deceive us, So, in fact, it's very unfortunate that some of our leaders up to now I don't know if whether they are aware or they are not, or they've just ignore it and they only think about their pocket. But if they really want to develop individual states, African states, or let's say Africa in general, like I said earlier on the other day, if you can't remember, I said many things like ideas that appears new aren't really new at all. And what has been will be again, and what has been done will be done again. In the 1970s, China was nothing. China as a nation was nothing in the before 70s. That was during the time of Chairman Mao. China was very poor. But you see, they had these, visionaries who had studied, the socialist market economic system, which is underpinned by Marxist framework of historical materialism. You see that all institutions of human society are the outgrowth of its economic activity. So they introduced under Chairman Deng Xiaoping, then they introduced this SME, which is a socialist market economy, and it goes with productive force of society, and this is what China embarked on in the 70s. So you see, these economics theories that the Western universities has made us to believe that it will work for us, and our economists who have PhDs, masters and PhDs, especially Baumia and others, thinking that they know much, they are applying the wrong economics.
Well, you see, in this, I have to come in to say that, look, not much will change,
No.
not with even Setekpe, because Set, as I know, is also coming from the Harvard, the Yale, the same line of, the same lineage
I'm telling you.
to this belief. So I don't want to be biased to say Baumia alone. It is, after Nkrumah and probably after what we call a Champon. The rest have all been the Westminster, the Yale, Harvard, sort of, source of knowledge that they are all following. And that, to play, I understand you, to play with the big boys, believe me, they will never let you become equal. You see, so we are in a dilemma. Unless we can muster the courage to follow the Chinese ideology or the Chinese method of actually democratizing business, economy, and finance, so that people will actually be involved, not one person getting 200 billion as reported in America, somebody 150 billion, and people are sleeping on the streets of Harlem and Queens and other places in America. It's a silly, silly shame. Kwesi Akwa is in here. Let him also have a quick word. Let's all have it as conversational because my time is up. So we all share the time, equitably. Tomorrow we'll come and continue. Kwesi? Yeah. Enye MFA. NDC for me as Zankra no. Ade yeka na MFA. You see NFM Radio. You greet your comrade as well. Yusuf is on the other line.
Thank you.
They have been going for everything and anything anyway. Mm. Mm. You see, gentlemen, it was my fault. Look, how Yusuf started, it looks as if you're also going the same tangent, but it was my fault. I have to insist on the topic for tonight. My topic was that why is it that we are doing almost every Ghanaians are sacrificing everywhere between taxes and losing their money, everything, and yet IMF is not playing ball. Why? We should discuss that instead of China, please. Mm. So when Kenofurata said, if we don't get this deal by March, and this March has come and gone, my next question is, why is he still at post? Mm. Okay. Mm. 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 That is a very, very poignant question. You know, I wrote a piece today. If you consider some few things I mentioned there, for instance, we had the upgrade to the Accra International Airport, as I call it. Then we had a Tuabo gas. Then we have the Tema Port expansion. These things are self-paying or profit-making investments. Then vis-a-vis Akufo-Addo's investments of paying allowances, paying this, hiring plenty hand in government to pay them and all that profligacy, then waste, money is getting missing and the rest. This is a problem. Anyway, let Yusuf also say something. My time is up. Let's stop here for now. And Yusuf.
Yeah.
So the question here, Kwesi has gone further. My question initially was that after or upon the sacrifices forced on Ghanaians to lose some of their income, their wages, their savings, the bonds, and the rest of it, and all the support coming from the Western government, everything included, still we can't see any headway. Kwesi has explained that, look, there is more to it than we are being led to know, and that the books aren't good. Do you subscribe to the same, or you have a different explanation?
Yes, definitely. And I have, something in addition to, first of all, we must understand why IMF was formed in 1944. In fact, under the Bretton Woods meeting in New Hampshire, United States, it was a neo-colonialist agenda. IMF is not there to assist third world countries. IMF is there. The actual plan, their secret plan, is to make third world countries indebted, and a borrower become enslaved to the borrower. There's no way you can borrow from IMF and be able to pay back, because with the conditions that they will even give you, you end up not being able to pay. I got all this information when I was doing my political science studies here in London University. It came up. Neo-colonialism, IMF is part of it. Globalization, privatization, it is all what? To control the third world country. It is only China who has been able to break through, because they applied what? A different strategy, which is the SME, socialist market economy, which is underpinned by Marxist framework. So all I'm saying is,
will you say that again? That abbreviation, or that what do we call it? Is it what? SME?
Oh yeah, it's an it's SME.
Okay.
Yeah, SME. This is what the Chinese adopted in the 1970s under Chairman Deng Xiaoping. And this market economy is something which Marxist is underpinned by Marxist framework of
principle and framework. Yeah, that
yes.
That the goods or the wealth must belong to the people, not only to belong, but it should be seen and felt by the people.
It is controlled by productive force. Started to
exactly. See, the reason I intentionally asked you, because look, Nkrumah started this in the 60s, so that when you have the means of production, the means of distribution and the means of consumption.
Yes.
And that your people buy into it, hallelujah, you have reached the stage. And crucially, he was stopped. Means of production, distribution, and consumption.
Musa, in addition to that, when you embark on that, when the Chinese did that, you see, you produce and also you establish what? Your outlets
Yes.
overseas, and you sell.
Yes.
You sell your product there.
Yes.
And there you are able what? To generate what?
Yes.
Foreign revenue.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I won't be surprised if they learn. I won't be surprised if they learn the theory from Osage, because Osage wanted to establish the self-reliance this in Ghana itself. Then through the African unity and the rest, he will establish, the means of, what we call it, selling to Africans, buying from Africans within ourselves. Within the next 10, 15, 20 years, you see that we've established the either regional or the international market.
Yes.
And these people got to know, and they say, well, no way.
They stop him.
Listen. This conversation is too good. But because of time, I really have to go. Listen, let's do it tomorrow again. The two of you. No, not 1 minute. Just 30. That's 15 seconds, because I stop. Yusuf has a lot to say, but I stop him. Yeah. Okay. I've been told we can afford ourselves another 15 minutes. So take your time and talk. That is the question, the elephant in the room. I'm saying that is the elephant in the room, because look, they will tell you that Akufo-Addo said he has built more roads than anybody. Then he will say he has built more factories than anybody, and yet the employment is zilch. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, you see, one thing I don't know about this, for me, those people who did government or governance and economics in university, maybe, or international trade, maybe you can educate me on these policies. Because how do you stop, encourage people to come and trade or invest, and yet stop the capital flight? This is an equation. Kwesi, you are not answering the question. Look, Kwesi, wait. If you say he should concentrate, so it means when he borrowed, he should give all those loans or the monies to Ghanaians. Yes. Yes. You see the difference. You see the difference. The Chinese didn't have to go and borrow from West so that they will add their, what do we call it, their conditions. You see, so our problem is that our people, including the past government and the rest, they had to go and borrow from the West, and the West will give you conditions. I totally agree with you, but we started with the basics of our economy, and all our top men have been to Yale and Harvard and Oxford and back, so they have to follow the same line. What I'm saying is, if we did what we are doing without going to borrow for them to add their conditions, then what you are saying can work. But since we are borrowing from outside, we have to follow their conditions. And their condition is that when they get their money, the monies must be allowed to go. That is the problem. Mr. Kwesiakwa, that ship, that train has left the station. Akufo-Addo came and spoke plenty about Ghana beyond aid and the rest, thinking I will let you come in, Yusuf. I know you are there. Thinking he is going to do something different. But in the end, he has rather involved us deep into the West web. So it is that we have to borrow from them. They give us conditions. Some of the conditions are that our traders, our investors, when they make their money, they have to bring the monies home. And that is the problem. So our politics will have to change. And we'll let Yusuf. Yeah. Ma Yusuf Usunkakakra. Yusuf.
Yeah, I think we are all speaking the same language.
Yeah.
And what I can say is that, you're right, and Honorable Comrade Kwesitu is right. You see, in order, we should be focused, and we shouldn't allow anything to distract us. What I said was that IMF, we have to know why IMF was formed. IMF wasn't formed to help third world countries, but rather to make them indebted. You see? So, the Chinese, as we said earlier on, they did not borrow money to develop. What they did was that they produced and they established branches all over the world. So they were able to generate revenue and repatriate it. They were able to enhance their foreign reserves. That's why you see there are Chinese companies all over the world, in America, UK, wherever you see them. The government fund them. And for example, when they are in the US and they make money, they send that money back to China. In the UK, they send that money back to China. So they don't go and borrow, they're actually generating money. So you see, you have to know, and like Comrade Akwa said, also, in political science, we studied what they call sovereignty. A sovereign country must have a sovereign currency. You don't allow somebody even to be printing your monies for you. Is Ghana cedis a sovereign currency? Are we in control of it?
As someone said, you see, I think you would agree with me. You have studied that for that far, but I, as a layman, I also know that you cannot detach economy from politics. So it is our politics that has to change. The direction of travel, what we want to do. If our politics is that we need the West to give us the money, because most of we, the big people, we got our mansions at Mayfair and places in New York and the rest and the rest. If that is the politics, then we are bound to be in this dilemma or this quagmire for a long time. I don't know if you agree with me.
I do agree with you. That's why I'm saying that with the SMC, the SME, which the Chinese people adopted, it was to enable them to be self-sufficient and not depend on anyone.
Sure.
And now you can see how China is so strong. When America is talking, they can talk because they know where they have reached. But when they started,
you see, anytime you talk, people say, Mansa Musa, you and your nostalgia and Nkrumah and this thing. Look, when all these times that you said 70s and the rest and the China were poor and everything, I went to study in the Soviet Union. Chinese students were there in their hundreds of thousands. Look, this spacecraft the Chinese are building, they are now doing a space station on their own. All these technologies, they got it from Soviet Russia. They studied very hard engineering and mathematics. At that time, what were we doing? We have been removed of the Nkrumah ideology to do technology. Rather, we have been indoctrinated to worship Allah and God and everything by miracle. You see, that's why I told Kwesi that I think the ship or the train has left the station, unfortunately for us.
Well, I think, like I said, the formula is there for us to use. We just need good leadership. What we need is good leadership. With these right-wing ideologies, if we ask ourselves, what is the MPP's ideology? What ideology is the MPP party? What does Nanadu believes in? He operates
I'm telling you that, look, I will want to see a change. But judging from what I hear from your money, the intellectuals like Tekpe and the rest, they are all of the Harvard and Cambridge and all these things. That's it. They are all of that, ideology. And it will follow suit, unfortunately, unless we get a proper somebody who wants to not find a fight or look for a fight or be antagonistic with the West or anything, but to look into their eyes to tell them that, look, where we are, we need to change course. We need to sell properly. If you want our gold, our oil, our now latest minerals that is being discovered, it's going to be sold properly. It's not going to be 70% to you because you got technology and 5 to 10, 15% to us and the rest to some individuals. You see, if we don't do that and we are still going to follow, forget about the ideology of NPP. Within the NDC, we have the same dilemma. We have that problem there.
Well, the reason why...
Kwesi, let's listen to Kwesi. I think Kwesi wants to respond to me.
I know, Mansa.
We have 2 minutes each. So, Kwesi.
I brought in ideology because of I wanted to.
Okay, Kwesi, wait. Sorry, Yusuf.
Yeah, I brought in ideology because I just wanted to open people's eye on how ideology can actually influence what the leader does.
Yeah, it's true.
Because if MPP is following this right-wing ideology, they believe in only privatization.
Yes, that much I agree with you, yeah.
Lack of welfare system. That's why I see today, one of the best countries in the world that we can learn from is Sweden, where they have proven that welfare system, is functionable. But you just need
welfare should be tailored, according to your means. Because if it's welfare, then I will say, Ekufuado is even giving more welfare because he's paying the allowances that NDC stopped. So if you talk of welfare, then you have to elaborate exactly what do you mean.
When I'm talking about welfare, I'm talking about what? housing. I'm talking about unemployment benefits.
Okay.
I'm talking about child benefits.
Fair enough.
No?
Fair enough.
That's what I mean. I'm talking about housing, unemployment benefits, child benefits, social benefits. That's what we're talking about. You should be able to cater for people who are not employed whilst you are educating them.
Well, what I can say to that is, look, we have to get the narrative right, because you will be singing into the hymn book of a Kufuor. Because if you say we should be able to cater for, we can cater for unemployment by making sure we get them employed, not by making sure that we borrow money and share it to them.
No,
exactly.
You don't borrow money and share it to them. You create money. One of the things that I wanted to say, which time is not allowing it, is that a government or country must know, the leaders must know how to create money. Money is being created. You understand? The Chinese, they have set an example. Okay, you produce and then you export. Don't sit down and say you are waiting for somebody to come and buy. You go and establish in their country and sell it there.
I wouldn't lie to you. This government has created a lot of money, either through bond loans or even crude methods like this galamsey thing they are doing. They have created lots of money, but the problem here is they have shared it among themselves. It didn't go to the country. What a shame. Anyway, listen, Kwesi, I'll give you 1 minute so that we will end. So, yeah. Honestly speaking, Kwesi, unfortunately, let's end it. But all what you guys are saying, we need time to expand it properly. Because if you want to talk about things that can help people, you are mentioning water, education buildings, the health service sector buildings, all the infrastructure, then even housing. You see, but 3 things I mentioned in my article about the Kutuka expansion upgrade, the Atwabu gas, the Tema expansion. These things actually bring in money. And this is what Kufuor should have continued. Instead, he got so much money and he has blown it. Listen, gentlemen, I can only thank you for your time, but we need to move on. So let's meet again either tomorrow or Wednesday. Then we can get full time, to deliberate. Thank you very much for your inputs.
Thank you too. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Right, ahana yedibesi, ahana edi agrono beba. Nyami ya aduma ochina. Yeah, we will do it more and more and more and more. Thank everybody who, those of you who persevered and stayed with us even when we had problems with technical issues. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and have a good week going forward. Thanks. Bye-bye.